Okay, this time I will remember. You also seal bullets from ground enemies when you're near them, which is very important to pretty much everything in this game in later stages. But in stage 1 we don't really have to do it, though you can. Kill the side parts, then finish it off. You have to be ready for the P items to drop in this game. They always drop from the same enemies, and some of them always fly into one direction when they spawn, some of them fly into a random direction. Most of them have a fixed direction where they turn after they spawn. Like this bunker will fire his P item when I kill him to the right. And I can grab it there. And I want to conserve my shot power by not shooting any more than necessary to kill these guys. Then this guy could spawn a question mark item. He did, good. So now we can show how to use this guy. We want to safely chase him. This is not a safe chase, but you want to leave the question mark items that pop on the screen until you use them on a pre-planned enemy that you want to kill with them, such as these mechs at the end of stage 1. Ideally, it's in a good place where you can grab it safely. Sometimes it's gonna kind of fly to the top of the screen and require you to dive, which can be pretty rough. This boss just dies when you point blank him. Stage 2 is where the question mark items really get big. The first one is gonna spawn on the right here. We kill this first enemy, then we keep firing on the right side, and now we see this is the first question mark item of this stage, and it's very important that we leave it in the air. That we do not grab it right before it times out, which is quite late. Then for these blue enemies, which are going to be appearing throughout the stage, you don't want to be directly below them. You want to be shooting them a bit from the side with the spread of your shot, because they fire homing missiles. Homing missiles that can swing towards you below them, which are really hard to dodge if you're directly below them, so you want to be a bit to the side of this. This is the enemy that you want to pop this question mark bomb on. You want it to dodge it while it's on the screen until you get here, and then pop it right before or as this guy spawns. Gets much easier when you do that. Then you want to be at the center after he's done with, so you can kill those enemies without being directly below them, hitting them with the side of your shot. The second question mark item of the stage is optional. There is nothing really difficult here that you need to preserve it for, so I usually just grab it whenever or let it float into me. The third and fourth question mark items of this stage are the important ones, and the first. The second is a red herring, you don't need to care about it. There's gonna be more of these blue enemies. And these turret platforms, which will probably be killed a bit of the same way, hidden with the side of the shot not being on center. Then this is the third question mark item. This is very important to preserve if we can. Again, in the center, to tackle those waves of enemies. Slightly to their side, so they don't hit me. Then here came the fourth and last question mark item of the stage. I might have grabbed the wrong one. Ideally, you want to grab the one that spawned earlier to kill this guy, and leave the one that spawned later to use on the boss, which I did correctly this time, but if you lose track of these guys or pop out of them early, then you're gonna have to do the boss without the question mark item, which can be done, it's just a bit harder. But we took the correct one, so I can just wait for this guy to float to me. That was really scary. But if you have the question mark item here, it's gonna kill either boss instantly, which is extremely nice. Then here at the start you want to immediately go over these turrets. You can kill the other turret, but I prefer to leave it alive in order to be able to kill these guys faster. Dodging him is a bit scary, but he's directly aimed at you, so if you know what you're doing, it should be safe. Then you want to point blank these guys. The question mark item here can help if you grab it, but sometimes you don't get it, so just do it without it. Then the second question mark item of the stage, this is very important. I want to dodge it at any cost and leave it alive to use it for the blue mech at the middle of the stage. I even have to dodge that P item in order to make sure that I didn't grab the question mark. That's really bad. You want to start in front of this guy, like start to the left of it, point blank it. Go to the left when the tankers appear, shoot them. Grabbing this question mark item can be really difficult. It positioned itself nicely this time, so I was able to just grab it and kill the mech easily, but if it's in a really bad position, this can be really nasty. Then you want to enter this safe spot here. right when that wall reaches the bottom of the screen or earlier, so that you enter this safe spot, and then you just chill here for the next minute or so, while this difficult section in the middle that you don't even want to fight is gonna time itself out. This raises the rank just a bit from time passing, but it's super safe, and it's just much more consistent, and it also gets you a higher power level for the boss later, which is really good. So I would always recommend using this safe spot. If you go in the center, none of the enemies there drop P items, so you're going to just lose all your power killing them, and they're quite dangerous. Let's actually use fast forward though for this, since I want to get to the boss section. Okay, I want to position myself on top of this tail here, to the right, so the bullets all miss me, while I can point back the guy. Then after killing him, go up, in case those guys fire bullets. Going up will always dodge them, going down quickly get you hit, since the bullet starts moving downwards when the screen starts scrolling. Then here what I want to do is kill one of the shoulders right at the start, and then just chill in the center for a while. Grab a P item, why not? And then kill the remaining shoulder. So kill one shoulder at the start, kill the ads, then just slowly kill the rest of the shoulder, power up. Can go wrong here if you start by killing one shoulder and then just take it easy. Stage 4 is where the bullet scene really gets huge. This enemy doesn't fire, but it's important that we start on the right here. We kill the carriage that's barely arriving on the screen. We go over these. I stop here to kill the P item carrier. Then I grab the P here. Kill this so it doesn't start firing at me in the ass. Then we seal these guys and kill them as they spawn. Seal these guys. Kill these guys as they spawn, and then when the third guy dies, we go to the left. Kill those. The timing there is quite precise, you might die there or not want to do it like that. There's other ways, but this is how I like to do it. That was a bit of a mistake, but the point is staying there in the corner and using the angles to your advantage so nothing here hits you. Enemies that carry P items or other stuff flash in this game, you want to watch for that, and it's always the same enemies that are gonna give these. So those two Kodos let me power up after I died. This stage is an okay place to die and to decrease the rank. I want to kill these guys as soon as they spawn, those B spawners, since these Bs are random, and if they are in the way blocking your shots, they are extremely obnoxious. Then we want to just spin here. Wait for that P item carrier to spawn so we can spawn the P item as we go. Make it to the side and then just stream these guys. This should be safe. I want to leave the question mark item here in the air, though you can grab it earlier as well. Ideally I will be grabbing it around here, but if it doesn't want to float into me, I might let it go, but it's coming. So I can grab it. Kill all these Kodo beasts with it. Then go to this top left corner. Point like this bee spawner right as it spawns so it doesn't flood the screen with bees. We want to hug the top of the screen here. Seal these guys while killing them right away so they don't get the fire. Those guys on the left should be dead. So that was a bit of a mistake. Then grab the question mark item to kill this section with a lot of enemies. It can be grabbed a bit earlier or a bit later. Really depends on where the question mark item is. Then there's gonna be another question mark item on this tank here, the one I'm floating over. We wanna grab it as late as possible into the air here. And then we wanna avoid it at all costs. This is the question mark item that will kill the boss that is very difficult for us. So it's very important that I don't grab it too early. This can be difficult. Now I wanna grab it ASAP. It got all the boss parts. Then I killed the... Wait, what killed me? I must have been just too close and the guys got me like a frame before the bomb cancelled the bullets. That wasn't ideal. But I think it shows the strat of how you how you do this shit. Then stage 5. At the start here you want to point blank one of these tanks at the bottom, then two of these tanks here, another one of these tanks, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Then grab the P item. Then the power up will let you handle the rest more easily. Kill the ones on the right first, yeah, generally, in this opener. Point blank the guy coming from the bottom, those are the first priority, usually you don't want to get shot in the ass. If this question mark item spawns, you can just use it to kill the bunker. It also kills the guys that are covered here, which is good. Then this here in the center, it's carrying another question mark item if we get lucky. Which one of these we grab doesn't matter. You can also kill these turrets without the question mark item, but I'm just gonna grab it this time. Then we want to be in position to kill these guys spawning from the top. They always fire the static spread, so if you're slightly to the side of them below, they're never gonna hit you. Then I want to grab this question mark item here to kill this enemy that carries another question mark item. Ideally, this question mark item would be somewhere where I can grab it. This can go really wrong if the question mark items are in bad places, but we made it. If you bring more question marks items for the early part of the stage there, this can be a bit safer, but this stage really depends on your question mark usage. There's a lot of question marks at the beginning of the stage for everything, and if you can grab them at the right times, they solve all the sections, but if they don't solve them, they can get really tricky. So I want to be very careful with them. Keep them in the air until you need them for the specific sections that you want to use them for. Then you want to go to the top of the screen here, spawn these icicles, kill them for score, and so they don't get in your way later. They also help with these guys that are going to spawn right now, these icicles. You want to stay a bit to the right. Grab one of the P items at the end safely once you killed most of them. At higher rank they would have more HP, but they don't have a lot right now, which is good. I want to leave this flash in block alive. I shoot it just once, so it's weakened and will die later, but I don't want to kill it right now. It's carrying a P item, and by grabbing it later, we can make the boss easier. I actually want to leave these last 3 rows of blocks alive, because they won't hit me. The scroller will just stop. Then we wait for the boss to come into sight. We dodge this attack clockwise, starting from the right to the left clockwise always. Never counterclockwise. Due to the way aiming works in this game, that attack is always safer to dodge clockwise the home intents. Then with the P item we grab from the block, we can just kill him. Makes it very easy to kill the boss, and also gets us high power for the beginning of the stage, which is very hard. You should save state this if you can. You want to be at the top of the screen to seal the bullets from these guys while they spawn. The position for this is very precise. I use the shot graphic of my ship to position myself for that. This section is really difficult. I just recommend doing a suicide here. Unless you're a masochist like this and just wanna, you know, dodge it. But I would recommend that you plan a suicide here to kill these guys a bit more easily. I'm gonna show it in a save state how to suicide here after doing this stage normally. Then here you wanna be in between the wall and the floor here. That's the safe spot for these guys on the right. You can also go on top of them like I think in a James replay, but I prefer just killing them. Then there's a safe spot here on this upcoming section. In the upper left corner, we're gonna go into it. First we're gonna grab the P item, then after grabbing the P item we just go there. If the rank is slow... Wait! Normally those guys don't turn around fast enough to fire at you, but I guess the rank was high in this run. Nice, but if you suicide on the opener it won't be high and that won't happen. So let's just pretend that didn't happen, okay? And now I have low power level for the boss, this is gonna be fun. Killing this first phase quickly is very important. Because if he gets his later attacks it will be difficult and we do not want that to happen. Then this boss, he spawns these swords at the start which you can save at the top, but we didn't do that. Everything in this boss follows the angle locking rules. Those mouths he aims at you, these bullets he is constantly firing at you, they are all aimed at you according to the angles. So now he fires the mouths. That is how you don't want to aim them. You want them to aim somewhere where they are not coming close to you and blocking you. Like here. He's gonna fire the mouths directly down there. That's a good place for them to go, so they're not gonna get in my way. Mouths directly down. That's about how we would want this boss fight to go. Though the power level was a bit low and rank was low. Okay, the asteroid stage. At the start you can fire all the asteroids. There's gonna be P item pickups later, so I prefer just killing everything here at the start, but later P items get really scarce in this stage and you need to conserve power in order to be able to kill the final boss better, so at the start I would recommend just killing everything, but later you're gonna want to start conserving power. The moment when you should start conserving will be pointed out when it comes, which is impossible to miss. It's 2 large blue enemies that each drop a P item. That's the last place where you're really gonna have good power level in this stage. It's gonna come after these meteors. 2 big blue enemies. You can just speed to the left side of their center and they never hit you. Wanna kill them and grab their piece, and from this point on, I wanna conserve my power and not fire on enemies unless I have to kill them. Or they are these Zaccos which are dangerous, they start firing bullets if you let them live. Don't wanna let those live. Specifically leaving stuff alive in order to conserve ammo. You wanna grab the flash and meteors when they show up, but the other enemies, if they wanna have to kill them in order to avoid dying, I wanna leave alive. Kinda like that enemy. We can still show the rest of the stage in credit feeding. If you got this question mark item, you can just pop it on these guys. Otherwise, you wanna be positioned on the left when they spawn, which is secured by the Zacco wave going on before those enemies. Should have pointed out before, but I died. The speed of these meteors also depends partially on rank and partially on your power level. When you grab power items, these guys get a bit faster. Though, I mean, you do need power for the boss. So being killed by these guys is what you want to have happen. Then you can only kill the guy on the right. You don't have to kill all those guys. If you kill the one on the right, the pattern is already safe enough to dodge by hugging the right wall of the screen. Then the Lexus, the safe spot for his spread attack is right in the center in front of him. When he flashes if he flashes his headlights after he's done the attack, it means he's going to ram you. We'll see if that happens. He flashes his red light, that's mean headlights, he means that he's going to ram you and you need to be do a dodge, prepare for him ramming. Then he does his aimed attack. You want to be at the side here when he fires that. He can also follow up that aimed attack where he moves around with a ram, which is again signaled by flashing his headlights. Wanna watch always after this if he flashes his headlights and tries to ram you. I'm just gonna do another credit since I don't think I managed to explain everything I wanted to. Okay, back from the beginning. We want to stop shooting when we're not firing at enemies, because when you shoot you use an invisible ammo meter in this game, which decreases your power level after you've fired a certain amount of shots. So you know, if you're firing at the top of the screen or point blank and stuff, and your fire rate is higher, you're gonna run out of ammo faster. So you don't wanna be doing this. Just firing into nothing at the top of the screen and spend all your ammo doing nothing. Want to only fire at things when there are enemies in front of you. If there's nothing there, you stop firing. Flashing enemies carry P items or question mark items. These are always the same enemies, so you have to memorize them. They also stop flashing when you first damage them, so it can be easy to miss them if you're just accidentally firing them and not noticing that they initially were flashing before you first fired at them. Can be a bit annoying, but knowing where you get power and question mark items is extremely important for this game. They're the MVP enemies. We want to kill the side parts on these bunkers, 2 on each side, before killing it, in order to get a few extra points. That could drop a question mark item, but it didn't, so we're going to do this without it, which we do by going to the left of these guys and firing at the left arm. You see front of the left arm. If we are at the front of the left arm of these guys, everything they do will miss me, and my shot will kill the left arm, which is the dangerous attack. Once the left arm is dead, they're just gonna kinda die on their own without being dangerous. But if you're in the front of them, or on their right side, they can be really dangerous. You want to be on their left side, in front of their left arm. Boss is quite easy, you kill the 4 parts and then you can just point like the main body after the cannon is gone. Then we want to kill this enemy on the right. Then there's gonna be a meteor here. On the right it spawns the first question mark item of the stage. If it spawns it. All question mark carriers can randomly in this game just give you power items instead, which will kind of fuck you over, but we can do this section without it as well, which we will be able to show you now. If that flashing meteor, the first one of the stage on the right, would give a question mark item, we will be preserving it to use on the first big plane coming after this. But we don't have it, so we're gonna do it the normal way, which is point blanking him, starting to the center right of him to get extra damage at the start, which will make him dead in a very short order. Then we want to be in the center after killing him to shoot at those guys from their sides, not from front of them. If you're in front of those guys, you are in danger of being rammed at by the aim missiles that will make really strange swings towards you. You want to be slightly to their side and shooting them with the side of your shot. All the blue enemies in this game. Or blue enemies in this stage rather. Never in their front, always to their side. So I'm safe from their bullets. You see, they're firing. Since I'm at the sides, I'm totally safe from their bullets, but if I was at their front trying to deal more damage, I could die. We don't want that to happen. Use the side of your shot on those. Kinda the same with these, they fire directly at you when you aim below them, so we want to be a bit off. No, this is the third question mark item. It's important that I preserve this. Again, after that we want to be in the center, so I'm at the side of these enemies and their bullets are all gonna miss me while I side shot them. Then here comes the fourth question mark item. This is a difficult part. You want to track which one you released earlier and which one you released later. That was the one I released earlier, so I'm gonna use it on this big plane. Then there's gonna be 3 blue enemies. The middle one of them will drop a P item. That drops in a random direction. It's gonna fly either left or right, and you want to be ready to grab it in either direction. Then I'm not gonna kill the last asteroids of the stage, since that would spend some of my ammo, which I might need later. Then if we kept this question mark item all the way up to here, it's just gonna kill the boss instantly. He's never gonna get to do anything. That's ideally how stage 2 will go, using question mark items to kill everything, including the 2 big planes and the boss. But if you don't get the question mark items, so there's accidents with them, which is very common in this game, might go wrong. Kinda like this opener. But we can still show this stage. We want to kill one guy here, then immediately move to kill these spawns that tanks that are spawning on the right. Kill this guy. Then the second question mark item of this stage is gonna spawn from this flashing tank here on the left. We want to leave it in the air for as late as possible, so we can use it on the blue mech later in the stage, which is a really hard section. Grab this P item. I'm gonna ignore these enemies that spawn on the right, because if I fired at them, they would conserve ammo, or spend ammo rather. Decrease my power level, which I don't want to happen. I want maximum power level here to make this easier. Grab this question mark item right here, when you see the outline of the blue mech coming in ideally. It spawned in a very good place, or moved in a good place, the question mark item, so it's able to just kill the blue mech with it. But what can happen is that the blue mech glitches out when you bomb it, and it doesn't die. You can identify it by the mech not being dead after you've used the bomb. Normally it's dead. But if it's alive, that means that the mech has glitched out and is invincible. It can be killed at that point. No use try to kill it. Instead, what you have to do is you have to safe spot the blue guy entirely, go to the right of it and enter the safe spot with him still firing at you. It can be pretty scary, but once the wall is low enough and you move next to the wall to enter this safe spot, the wall will block the bullets from the mech. It's a pretty scary moment if he gets the invincibility glitch, but if you know what to do, how to dodge him while he's still alive and enter the safe spot, it's gonna be safe. Maybe I can get a save state later where I show how that happens. And you just sit here in the safe spot, time this thing out. Position yourself to the right side of this tail here, so your edge of the car touches the right side before he got hidden. Then go up after killing him. Then I want to kill the right shoulder first. Either right or left shoulder, doesn't matter, but I want to kill one of the shoulders on this boss first, before he spawns anything. That's the shoulder dead. Then I can just sit here in the center, kill any of the remaining stuff, grab a P item. You can't really avoid killing all the stuff from the other shoulder, I think. But this is how the boss dies quite smoothly. You can grab the P items while at it to power up for this next stage. This guy on the left is optional to kill. He doesn't fire anything, it's just 4 points. Want to move to the left immediately after killing the barely on screen carriage. Release the P items, grab them. Kill the carriages so they stop moving. Point blank these guys. Kill the third guy, move across. None of the rank is a bit lower than normal, so my normal route is easier, but this route does work a little more precisely at high rank as well. Kill 2 carriages, move to the left. Make sure you're hitting the Coda Beast in the background. After the Coda Beast is dead, move forward, kill the carriages on the left. This Coda Beast here will give a P item, so I want to be ready to grab it. It's always gonna fall on the left from this enemy. Then another power item from this Coda Beast, might as well take it. Then there's gonna be another Coda Beast here on the left, wanna hit it as soon as it arrives. Just kill it. Then go to the top. Point blank these beehives before they spawn bees. These guys, if they are blocking your shots in the way, can be really nasty, so we don't want that to happen. We're gonna kill a couple of their enemies, then we're gonna do a spin at a time that lets us grab this P item as it spawns. Spin around, kill these enemies. That was a bit scary since I was trying to avoid the question mark item, but if it spawns in that direction, I should just grab it. it's too risky to try to avoid it when it's in the direct way of my route. Kill those carriages. Go left to kill the Kodos. The part on the center of the Kodos that triggers their explosion and kills all the remaining parts is the most important part. Try to fire in the center of them when trying to speed kill them if possible. But with the side of the shot, since they can shoot forward and kinda kill you. Looks like we're gonna be doing this without the P item. Or without the question mark, it didn't spawn. But you can just spawn camp these missile tanks that spawn on the left and right, that's the important part. These two tunnels, you wanna be spawn camping those, it makes the angles work out and also takes care of the missile tanks, which are the most dangerous enemies there. Grab this P item. I'm gonna kill the enemies coming from this cave up left before they are actually visible. You see explosions in the ground. That's me killing enemies that are not yet visible. Tried to dodge that guy, but it cornered me. That means I get to do this boss without the question mark item, which is something you might have to do when the luck gets really bad. So this is how you do it. You kill the parts in the center first. The center parts at lower HP and are more dangerous, so you kill those first, as many of as you can. It's really difficult, but you see the start there. I killed all the parts on the left, then if I was playing more properly I would have moved to kill the parts on the right, in the center. And then these two cannons on the right that have high HP, then them I would kill last. I can actually show the stage more properly. Or rather go to the next stage, because... Okay, you normally would use the question mark for kill the boss, but if it doesn't happen you may have to do some really difficult stuff which will probably result in you dying. So let's just hope that the question mark start goes well, and that the question mark item spawns. Let's show the opener of this stage again. We wanna kill the guys in the houses. The houses are hiding tanks. Kill one guy here, two guys here, one guy here. Okay, one guy from the bottom. First the houses. The one guy from the bottom, point blank him. Two guys from the left, one guy from the bottom. The power carrier and his body from the left. And then with high power, fire at the top for the rest. That's how you wanna go about for the opener. One on the bottom, two on the left, one on the bottom, two on the left. Then grab this question mark item to kill this bunker here. That missile tank shouldn't have been there. Usually I would grab that a bit later, the question mark, so it doesn't let him live. Anyway, I'm gonna leave both of these question marks here in the air, since those threats can be killed quite safely usually. Should be sealing that guy by being on top of him, but I forgot. These guys should be dead, but they can be killed later. I wanna grab one of these, about when this flashing enemy from the bottom comes on screen. I'm actually missing so many of my routes that this is not going well. Just gonna show it again. Okay. Kill the three houses. One from the bottom, two from the left, one from the bottom, two from the left. At high rank they can fire significantly more early, so you wanna kinda go to shield the guys on the left and go a bit higher for them. This saves that it doesn't have the highest rank possible here. But you wanna kill these guys ASAP after they spawn. And prioritize the guys from the bottom first, then the guys from the left. Start from the left here. When these great turrets come on screen, then just sweep kill them all. Okay, now I'm actually gonna be in position to kill these teams coming from the top of the screen. They always fire this steady spread, so if you're slightly off center of them, you'll dodge it. I leave that last one on the left alive since I'm going to use a question mark item here anyway. Seems like I got the F-bomb and it spawned 3 extra question marks. So I just got 50 of these. Sometimes this game just starts shitting out question mark items and you can bomb everything with them. It's a great feel when it happens, but it's very rare. Usually when you get the flash bomb item, it's actually pretty bad. But sometimes it spawns extra flash bombs from enemies that normally wouldn't give them, and that is awesome. Point blank those guys, so they die before they fire. Position on the right after them, so you can kill these guys as they spawn, before they fire. Spawn these icicles by hugging the top of the screen. Then spawn the last 2 icicles. Do not kill the one on the left, only the one on the right. Position around between the icicle and the wall to kill these ice blocks that fall on top of you. I would want to grab a P item there, but Unfortunately, I either missed the enemy or missed the P item. That can happen, which is bad. But we're still gonna have enough power by leaving this power block here alive. I weakened it, but I did not kill it. That's very important here. Since I don't have power, I'm not gonna kill all of the ice blocks, but this is still gonna be good. Just have to not get hit by them on the way back. Like that. Then I wanna grab this P item that I left here, so I can kill the boss with this. Just hit him in the face, he's gonna die super quickly with this. We might have to dodge this attack one more time by spinning clockwise, not counterclockwise. But that went fine. Okay, then I'm going to show the suicide strat for the stage 6 boss opener. You wanna start always by sealing these guys at the top of the screen. Position so these blue bullets of your shot are the invisible at the top of the screen. I failed it, so I died. Let's see if I can do it with that. I probably can't. No, I can't. Need to load the save state so I can show the suicide properly. Anyway, point blank these guys. You need to save state this to memorize how to get the point blank in right. Go to the left. Move when the arms fire. Then just die sometime during it. You respawn. Fire on the right guy's shoulder. And then the left guy's shoulder. And then they are both gonna die once you point blank them a bit. Very important to grab the P item for this first one once he does die. The rank is quite high here. You probably don't want it to be this high when you're killing these. Because they take forever to live with this power level and this HP. Holy shit. I'm gonna get timeout missiles. This save state, man. This is terrible. Why the fuck is this save state so fucked? I think I missed some of the power items. That's why they took so long to die. If we kill the shoulder, the arm that's attached to it despawns, flies off the screen. I wonder what's wrong with this save state. It normally shouldn't be like this. Kill the shoulder with the iframes. Dude. I can't even do this anymore. Anyway, this is a really hard section. You wanna use save states to practice this one. And figure out a strat where you either suicide before these guys are on them. Yeah, suiciding earlier in this rank might be a good idea. That's a good suggestion. I practice it on this save state, but let's actually do an earlier suicide. On that soldier there. You could do it at the very beginning of the stage or at the end of the stage 5 boss. That's actually... I don't have a stage on the stage 5 boss, I think, but... Let's just do it one more time. I'm gonna move on from this after I fail this. Because the rank here is a bit high. I actually need to remember the strat in order to be able to do it this way. Anyway, just wanna fire a bit before you die. Then point blank after you died. Shit, I didn't kill the arm on the left. This is gonna be terrible. Fuck. Fuck. This is hilarious. Okay, let's move on. Let's do the boss stage in this. Where's my save state for it? It's somewhere here. Okay, boss. You wanna start? Go to the left when he fires his first attack. Keep firing him. Firing is very important. Then go point blank here. Point blanking is very important so he dies before the face goes too far. Then you wanna dodge these swords, which spawn in a random place. And after that, redirect the mouths that he fires at you. He's gonna fire the mouths again. We wanna fire them to the down left, so they're not gonna get in my way. Then he's gonna do swords. He's gonna fire the mouths to the bottom left. The swords, then the mouths. Redirect them off the screen so they didn't get in my way and absorb my fire. Swords, mouths. Redirect the mouths. Don't fire at the mouths since they would just eat ammo. Swords, mouths. Want to track where he is on its attack pattern so you're ready to redirect the correct one. Let's do it one more time. He starts with swords. Those were some funny fucking swords. Then he's gonna do more swords. After the swords, another set of mouths. Then these ones. After these it's gonna be swords. Then the mouths. You can tell he's gonna do mouths because he opened his mouths before he fires the rotating mouths at you. Then the swords. He opened his mouths, he's gonna fire mouths. We're ready for that. Then it's this attack, then swords. Then mouths. You see how his cycle works? Wanna be ready for the next point of his cycle before it happens. Mouths. You could be dodging him for all day if you wanted to jack up the rank by taking forever on this, which we're doing right now, but you know, it's useful to show how this guy works. And again, these attacks, then swords. Then he opened his mouth and fires mouths. Then these guys. The rank is getting pretty high and I was in the wrong position there. But I think that shows this boss adequately. And let's do stage 7 one more time. I like to kill all the asteroids at the beginning of the stage since I get power again later on. But you could also start being a little less aggressive here, conserve your power level. After the 2 big blue enemies in the center is when I start conserving your power here. Killing these Zaccos, the grey ones that appear before they fire bullets, is very important. If they go far enough, they fire at near point blank range and that can be really bad. You don't want that to happen, or that. Luckily we can still show this stage after dying. Then the 2 blue enemies are gonna spawn after those guys. These are the last good power items that you can always grab here. After that it's just a couple of medias that are really easy to miss or can be dangerous. So from this point on I want to conserve my power level. Only fire at enemies that I have to kill, like these grey Zaccos that will otherwise fire at me. Or meteors that are gonna hit me. Stop firing. Keep not firing until you get flashing meteors. You don't want to kill flashing meteors if they show up. For P items or question marks. That question mark's useful to have. And this P item after it. Just don't kill them if we don't have to. After these Zaccos that come from that angle, it's these 2 guys. I could grab the question mark item for this, but it was in a bad position, so I'm not going to. It's gonna time out, so I might as well grab it. Again, I want a pacifist in order to keep my power level high for the upcoming boss. Kill only what I have to. Killing the guy on the right here is the important thing. Then just, I prefer not to kill the guy in the center, just dodge him on the right. Now it's time for the final boss. He's got a safe spot on his opener attack. He's got 3 attacks, he's got this aimed attack. He's got the spread, and he's got a ram attack. He can follow up this aimed attack with either the spread attack or the ram attack. And he did the ram attack there, which is the worst possibility. Wanna be at the side after that aimed attack. He's doing a ram attack again. You can see from the double flash of his headlights and a changing kanji on this faceplate whether he's doing a ram or this spread attack. After he's done either of his other attacks, you always want to watch for the headlights. If they flash, he's gonna ram you. He's gonna ram me right now with the double flash of the headlights. I'm just gonna leave him alive, see if I can dodge him for a while. Watch for the headlights. If they start flashing, he's gonna ram me. Didn't do that. Watch the headlights. He's not gonna ram, but he might ram me at the end of the same attack. You don't want to let the timeout missiles get to this point. You want to kill him before this happens, because it's really hard. But I think that showed all of his patterns. Though I'm not very good at this boss. No, anything else I've forgotten? Right, you want to have the dip switches set to 2 players. When you fire up MAME, it defaults to 3 players, which means that you don't get the power meter at the bottom. You want to go here, set play mode to 2 players. Dip switches, play mode, 2 players. This is what we want to have it. Or there's a default. And if you want to, you can set a secondary auto fire button for 30 Hz fire, which is not something you use all the time. 99% of the time in this game I use the default fire rate to conserve ammo, and because the extra fire rate from this just wouldn't help you. But there's like 5 places in the game where you're using a secondary 30 Hz fire button, which I have on another stick button. I have it on this one. If you wanna use that, you can, but I learned the game without using this, and I think it actually makes the game a bit harder to have to switch between two buttons, so I would just recommend using the default fire rate unless you're aiming to clear the game or go further than that, and use this button in specific places for more damage. If you use it everywhere, it's just gonna waste your ammo and do bad things, so I would recommend using default fire rate always, by default. I think this was a bit of a messy stream, but hope it helps some of you guys. Actually, I want to play this game for real now. I don't want to do a credit where I just ramble and try to explain some things. I want to play this game. Let's do a real credit. It's gonna be fun. Wanna kill these parts on the bunkers, 2 on each side, 1 on the front. Might be 2 on the front, but you kill the front parts just by firing it normally. Gives a couple of extra points if you kill it after killing all the parts rather than before. Kill all the enemy in this game with a mechanic like that. Kill the side parts. It's usually 2 bursts per side to kill the side parts. 2 bursts. Grab the P. Spawn can these tanks. You don't really need a route for stage 1, but I have one anyway. Got the question mark item. I want to kill these tanks on the left as they spawn. Grab this question mark item and see if it's in a good place, which it was. Kill the mechs with it. Very nice. Then I want to position in this on this line here for this first boss. You don't have to do this, but it's just a bit of extra help. On this line here. Kill the parts, then just hit him in the face. The faster you kill this boss, the lower rank you get for stage 2. Rank increases a lot of the things based on how much time progresses, including during boss fights, so if you take a long time to kill bosses, it can get really bad. There's this question mark item again. We want to leave this in the air to use it for the first big plane of the stage. Impossible to miss which one that is once you've played the stage. It's big, it has infinite HP. It kills you if you don't have this guy. You can kill it even without this, but it's gonna be a lot stricter. So if possible, I want to keep this question mark item in the air, dodge it, stay away from it until it's time to grab it, right here. It just kills this enemy for me. Then I want to be top center after killing this enemy, because there's gonna be enemies spawning on my both sides. And this will kill them all safely. Hitting these blue planes from the side, not from front of them, so that if they fire, their bullets will miss me. Again, hitting these from the side with the side of my shot, not in front. Not in front. Not in front. After this big rock comes another turret platform here. Then another on the left. No, on the right. I don't even remember which side these guys are spawning on. But here's the third question mark item after that enemy. You want to leave this in the air. Again, be in the center, shoot these guys from the side. From the side, not from below them. Not from directly below, always from the side. Then want to track which one is the one I released earlier, which one is the one I released later. I want to grab the one I released earlier to kill this blue enemy, and leave the other one for the boss. Then we're gonna get 3 small planes, one from the right. The center one has AP item which we want to grab. Then I'm just gonna not kill any of the last asteroids to conserve ammo for the boss in case I make a fuck up with this question mark bomb, or it gives me a bad bomb. I want to have power in order to be able to kill the boss. Just grab it here. It's gonna kill the boss instantly when he spawns, or I might have to fire at him for like 1 second, but he's gonna die before he fires anything. That's how we want this to go. Then go on top of this turret here before it spawns. You can start either on the left or on the right, but left is actually better for various hidden reasons. Related to how the angles in this game are glitched. Left and right sides don't behave equally. Sometimes you want to be on the right, sometimes on the left. On that opener, you want to be on the left, generally. Spawn can these guys. You can see from the roads on the side of the screen, that's where the enemies are going to come from. You know, where there's machinery and walls, enemies are not going to come through those. This game follows normal terrain rules. Enemies are only going to arrive from these nukes in the side where there's a road. They're not gonna arrive over stuff. Unless they're flying enemies like these. Then we want to point blank this thing, starting on the left. Ideally I wouldn't grab the item so early, but it's fine. We can fire at this guy's left arm. This is the same thing that you would do on the stage 1 mechs if you didn't get the question mark on them, just with higher rank, which makes this guy impossible to kill, holy shit. Then in the safe spot. Just sit here, time out this section. I'm gonna use fast forward so I can get on with this. Then go over the tail here, to the right side of the tail. All the enemies are gonna miss me at this point. Then after he's dead, move up in case those guys behind you start firing. Then I'm gonna kill the right shoulder here first. When I see his tail, I'm gonna start firing. His tail, hello. I'm gonna be firing here towards the right shoulder so it dies. Then I go to the center and just start cleaning up. Grab a P item to power up for the next stage, which is also optional, but we can do it. It's gonna be a big deal. Can kill this a bit faster by going more to the left, but I don't want to do that. It's easier to just stay in the center. Killing this guy on the left is optional, he doesn't fire. This one here. Killing the carriages on the right is the important part. When the second carriage at barely on screen dies, we move left. Kill the carriage here. Kill the power-up carrier up top with a small stop. Except, you know, without the failure. Grab the P item. I'm actually gonna load my stage 4 save state because I want to show this properly. Wanna be here, around this cliff. Kill the 2 carriages, kill this 1 carriage. Release the P item. That's how we want to do it. I stopped for a bit of a too long time there, that's why I died previously. Kill 3 tanks here, only 3. Then move left, kill 1 turret. Kill 3 tanks. Then the turret. Then be pretty high on the screen to restream that. I would want to grab the B item, but we can do this without it. Again, kill 2 carriages. That Kodo beast shouldn't be alive. It's actually gonna end up killing me. If I had power here, this would go easier, but we can still do it at this amount of stuff. Things are just gonna go a bit slower. Also, I guess I didn't end up doing the real credit because I loaded the save state, holy shit. This is still fun though. I can pretend the round didn't end. Then do a spin here. Grab the P item during the spin. Then this is one section where having a secondary 30 Hz auto fire button can help to get more damage on these guys. Be a bit up off the bottom of the screen to stream those guys at the top, that's the secret to them. If you're too low, they can really trap you, but being a bit higher makes them a lot easier. Then I'm gonna grab the question mark item. Let it kill these enemies for me. Without the question mark item, this is very hard. It can be done, I think, even at high rank, but I depend on the item. Then kill this beehive and hope that these guys don't just block you forever. Seal these guys, point blank them. Then I want to grab the question mark item here. Except it was in a bad position. Dying here is fine though, unless you're going for a normal stage 4, which I'm not. Certainly not after those deaths. This guy that I'll leave it alive is gonna grab the final question mark item. Release it as late as possible. Then just wait for the boss. You can tell from when the screen lags that the boss has spawned. Huge lag spike there. That means the boss has spawned, and we should start grabbing the item as soon as possible. One part might lead from the bomb. Didn't this time, but if it would be on the right at the top. This thing here, there would be a living part after the bomb here sometimes. You want to kill that before you go point blank the boss. Then he just dies. Let's show the stage 5 save state again too. At more real rank. Kill the 3 houses. 1 on the bottom. Then instantly 2 on the right. 1 on the bottom. 2 on the right. Then you have good power from grabbing the P item and can kill the rest. Grab the next P item too, but at this point it should be a lot safer. Again, bottom first, then the guys on the left. The ones at the bottom, if they get into bad angles, tend to be the more threatening enemy. Question mark item gotten in weird places, but we can grab it late. It's fine. Ideally, I don't want to use either of these question mark items, but I am going to because I just couldn't dodge them there. Had to grab one. Then fire to the top of the screen here to kill these guys as they spawn. They fire the static spread, so if you're slightly to the side of their center, they won't hit you. Then grab the question mark item here. I got a really good question mark that's gonna do the whole section for me. The shield bomb is just so good. It lasts forever and kills everything. And gives you iframes for the full duration. It's the best bomb if it happens, but it's also quite rare. Kill these guys as they come on screen. You can tell by the cliff angles here. The cliff comes on screen on the left. That means that the patterns is gonna be enemies on the left and enemies on the right, and you stand on the left. Even if you don't know what you're doing, once you see the cliff nuke there in the corner, you know you need to go to the left. It's another one of these terrain rules in this game. You know, tanks are not gonna show up in the sea or in the air. There has to be ground for them to be on. Which really helps you memorize the stages and enemy positions in this game. Ideally I would get a P item there, but it was in a dangerous position, so I didn't go for it. Leave this P item block here alive, damage it, but do not kill it. Then I want to leave these last 3 rows alive, and even this 4th row that's partial, because they're not gonna kill me. The score is gonna stop here. By doing this we can conserve ammo and have ball for killing the boss. Then we want to spin clockwise to dodge this. Clockwise, never counterclockwise on this attack. Then grab the P item and kill the boss with it. He's not gonna be able to do anything once we are point blanking him with this. And with the power we got from the P item, he's just ultra dead. Except he's right now he's behind the stuff. This could actually be really bad. It's fine. Let me actually make a new stage 6 save state. You have iframes at the start, so getting hit by those is not a problem, but you want to position yourself at the top. Behind like these guys, while sealing them. If you're just a little bit too far, they'll start firing and that's really bad. Oh, the rank is pretty high. Shit. I should also try the route where you use suicide before these guys to make the rank on this lower. You might find it easier than suiciding on these guys and then kill them at super high rank. Let's try that. You can also suicide. On this guy probably is where you suicide. Not sure. Then power up after you suicide. Then after you've rank drop right before these guys. No, I actually can't do this strat. I've only ever done the strat where I go here at high rank and then die here. But there is a strat where you can suicide before these and aim no miss them. I prefer suiciding on them, but your meal is my worry. Then in between the wall and the floor here, you see there's that seam. If you're here, the guys in front of you will never hit you. In between the floor. Then in between these guys will make these miss you always, regardless of rank. Then I want to use this corner save spot here. Into the corner. If you suicide on the opener, these guys aren't gonna hit you. Oh, that's a bad exit from the save spot. Time to go to the boss. Where is the boss save state? It's somewhere around here. This is the boss save state. Okay. No, this is not the boss save state. It doesn't have power. Where the fuck are my save states? Holy shit. It's here. Okay. Keep firing at the boss. The damage on this boss is the most important thing in the first phase. You do not want to let him live longer than necessary. Does the swords. Then he's gonna fire mounts. Direct into the bottom left. Or bottom right, either will do. Then the swords. Then the mounts. I wanna always know what attack he's gonna do next before he does it, so I'm ready mentally and in positioning. You know, kinda like not that. He's gonna fire the mounts after the swords. So I'm gonna position so the mounts go off screen. Then he's gonna do these things. Then he's gonna do swords. Fuck! This is such bad play.